No, I am not for Common Core. However, I am for standards, and actually there's a difference between standards and curriculum. I think that we need to copy some of the states that have come together, instituted standards that they were best for their state, addressing their needs, obviously keeping science, math, technology at the top of that list, but also returning to a strong literature-based curriculum, giving the teachers and local control more freedom than we're experiencing in education right now.
On Common Core, it's a confusing alternative, I guess, what I'd like to say, because I've talked to all the educators in their district. Dr. Dotson at Hoover, he's in favor of it. The teachers are in favor of it. The principals are in favor of it of the schools I talked to. The only people I find that's not in favor of it is maybe some of the parents. And I don't know if they just don't understand it or what the situation is, but this is what I say. I want the best, whatever's for the children. That's what I want the best for. What gives them the best opportunity in life. If it's Common Core, so be it. If it's not, no.
Curriculum and educational standards are often the same and sometimes are different. The question I have about Common Core is to find some type of quantifiable, verifiable results in relation to the standards that have been instituted. Likewise, having standards come, whether they're from the federal government or from the National Association of Governors or whomever, I'm really not in favor of that. I believe that the people who know best what's for our children are those people in our state, teachers, educators, who have put together standards that have been very successful over these last few years, especially the 2009 standards. I believe what we've got to do is look at choice for parents. We've got to look at the opportunity for people to decide what's best for their children. So if that means I would be opposed to Common Core, yes, I would say that. However, I do believe that it simply needs to be a process where we see quantifiable, verifiable results before we make decisions to involve ourselves in something of this nature. There are other states who've done a good job in looking at alternatives. We need to look at them as well.
Is another one of those issues that's close to my heart. My daughter, who happens to be sitting in this room today, is about to start her master's degree at University of Alabama in education. And she is one of the most creative people I've ever known. And the idea, from what I understand from the research that I have done on a daily basis for and against Common Core, is that the creativity of our teachers are being taken away every day. I would hate to a class of 8th graders to not have the opportunity to have my creative daughter teaching them. I think that the creative process is one of the most beautiful things in our country. It develops leaders, it develops our doctors, our lawyers, it teaches us to think outside the box. If Common Core means that we have a set of standards that doesn't allow for creativity, then I'm definitely against it. I'm not against standards. I do believe that our state can, and our local communities can develop standards for our students, standards that fit the people in our communities, not standards that are set across the country.
That's a very complex question. I've done a lot of studying, as well as most everybody here has done, and one thing that I think we'd all agree on is that we're against federal overreach into our education system and the liberal bias that's been introduced. But until I understand what the standards are going to be changed to, I could not vote to repeal the Alabama College and Career Ready standards, because if we go back to the 2007 standards, I think we'll all agree that they were not the standards that we needed, and that our children would be at risk to fall behind other states as well as other countries.
Understanding of the current Common Core curriculum is that it has not been proven. There's no reliability and validity studies on these standards, and our children are being used to experiment on and to collect data. I think that's an incorrect use of funds and of education process. I think that we have local school boards and principals and teachers and the State Board of Education that's in place and elected by the people to make decisions that are best for the students. There are also, to my understanding, some morally offensive information as the Common Core standards extend beyond math and English. A lot of parents are having difficulty with the math as well as the students at this time. I'm for standards, and I am for the optimum education for our children, including, I think, vocational education, if that would prepare our students with the new technology to become the leaders for tomorrow and the jobs that will be available.
I've been very blessed in our community to have schools where children who have gifted abilities can get some attention, where students that have some extra needs can get some attention as well. there are many places across the state and across the nation that are not getting the same benefits, the same ability. And my understanding is Common Core was designed to make the learning level available and somewhat balanced across the nation. From that perspective, Common Core is something that would be welcomed. From the perspective that it may dictate what the curriculum is, how to apply that curriculum to the particular students, and to maybe hold a student back or not allow a student that needs help to get help, I would be against that.